$1 threshold before voting on the bill. Earlier today, House Majority Leader Steny Hoyer made the case before the National Press Club for passing the bill in some form, despite his and Democrats' objections.
I simply do not believe that the deep debt that comes from Republicans' upper income and estate tax cuts is worth their minimal impact on job creation. Those cuts, in my view, harm our long-term prosperity, with little short-term gain in return. They are found on the fiscal fiction that the billions included for the best off among us will have a significant positive effect on job growth. Having said that, I believe that action is necessary and compromise was inevitable.
Thank you for joining us, Congressman Hoyer. Congressman Hoyer, after all the objection you've been hearing in your caucus for the last week about this deal, are you surprised by the overwhelming Democratic vote it got in the Senate tonight, including leading Senate liberals like Barbara Boxer, Al Franken, as well as most Republicans getting behind the same bill?
You know, I think what happened in the United States Senate was a recognition of the position we're in. The Republicans in the United States Senate would not move on middle-income tax freezes or on unemployment insurance or some other aspects of this bill unless taxes were cut or maintained for the wealthiest in America. As a result, I think they were recognizing reality, not necessarily the policies they thought would be productive to grow the economy, but they took those which would with those they thought wouldn't. So I don't know that I was surprised, I think, at the number of votes, but was not surprised that it passed pretty handily.
Yeah, there's nothing surprising about it for me. I said a week ago I thought it would move through this way, and I've been listening very carefully to the objections that you've been dealing with in your caucus. What I'm not hearing are members of your caucus saying that I will vote against any bill that contains an extension of the top tax bracket, the current top tax bracket. What I do hear people say is we will vote against the bill as is, which to me is a meaningless statement because, of course, the bill changes as it moves along. How many members of your caucus have said to you, Steny, I am going to be against you on this bill no matter what they do to it. I absolutely will not vote for a bill that extends the top tax bracket?
Well, Lawrence, I'm not going to give you a number because, frankly, I don't have a number in my head.
Have any of them said that to you?
There have been a number of members who have said that to me, but by no means a majority of the Democrats have said that. What I think there are a large number of members, as I've stated earlier, that believe that we have two considerations. First of all, jobs, and secondly, debt and deficit, and that they believe that this bill, with respect to the middle income tax freeze, with respect to the unemployment insurance, with respect to the FICA 2% reduction in taxes for working men and women, they believe that is very productive to grow jobs. What they don't believe is that the upper income tax freeze and the estate tax have anything to do with growing the economy. That does not mean, however, as you point out, that they're saying that they won't vote for this bill. Just as in the Senate, they recognize that we don't want to see middle-income taxes go up. We do want to see unemployment insurance for the 2 million people who have run out and are worrying about putting food on their tables. We want to see that extended. And we think the FICA reduction will have a positive effect on giving consumers more money in their pocket to spend on goods and services that they need. So, the legislative process, as the President said today, is a series of taking some things you want and taking some things you don't want because you think there's a net plus in the action that you're taking. So I think that's what happened in the Senate. I think that may well happen and probably will happen in the House.
Assuming you get this done quickly, as the President asked you to publicly today, do you think you're going to have time to move on to other serious business? You've announced today that you want to do Don't Ask, Don't Tell as a standalone bill. What are the prospects for that in the House?
Well, Lawrence, I don't think I announced that. I didn't announce that today. I don't know who you're saying announced that today, but that certainly is a possibility. But the other thing that we must do, as you well know, is we need pass funding for government for the coming year. That's still the remaining big piece of business that we need to get accomplished. I'm for Don't Ask, Don't Tell. I'd like to see it pass. We may well pursue the policy you suggest, but that has not been announced at this point in time.
I'm sorry. I misstated announcement. What the word is that that's the leaks that we're picking up on Capitol Hill today. So it's not an official announcement.
I'm not going to confirm.
Would you like to make the official announcement right now?
Lawrence, let me say what I was going to add, however. I also would like to see the defense authorization bill pass. I think that's a very important piece of legislation. It's been hung up in the Senate now for almost 8 months or 9 months. We need to see that bill pass as well. There's some other pieces of legislation that are still pending that I think are important to pass. But clearly the tax bill and the appropriation bill or the budget bill or continuing resolution, the funding of government is the other thing that we must do.
Congressman Hoyer, thank you very much for taking time to join us on The Last Word, keeping us up to date on, and if you have any announcements you want to make on Don't Ask, Don't Tell, or any other legislative business in the lame duck, please come right here and do it.
Okay, Lawrence, thanks a lot.
Thank you. Coming up, Charles Krauthammer says he's putting his conservative pundit career on the line by telling Republicans that the deal they brokered with President